Thanks everyone for showing up bright and early this Wednesday morning, and welcome everyone online. Yeah, fantastic news for us in International Graphite this week. We announced the commissioning of our first production unit down in Collie, so I'm looking forward to describing that for you. I will be making some forward statements and economic forecasts in this presentation, so please note the disclosure there. So International Graphite's developing two world-class assets here in Western Australia. We're uniquely Western Australian focused for the graphite industry. You'll be very rare for anybody to find a company that's developing a mine and downstream facilities in the one jurisdiction, and we're leading the way in that. Our Springdale Graphite project in the south coast of Western Australia and our planned battery anode facilities in Collie. As I said, we've installed our first production unit in Collie, and we opened that this week. And we hosted a significant contingent of government agencies on Monday to thank them for their role in helping build our facility. There's a $1.5 million micronising facility there in the light industrial area of Collie, which was being now wet commissioned on imported graphite concentrates. We are producing samples for product customer acceptance and sales, and we anticipate generating sales agreements for our micronised product later this year, and that'll underwrite the expansion of that facility to a 4,000 tonne per annum micronising facility. Micronising graphite has a broad range of applications in battery, energy storage and industrial uses, including thermal management, lubricants, engineered products, polymers and battery cathodes. We'll be selling it to both Australian and international customers. The average price we'll be receiving it's quite broad, between $1,800 and $8,500 a tonne, depending on purity and other specifications, at a reasonably low operating cost relative to those prices. So it's a very exciting development for us. The significance of this for International Graphite is that it gets us into the marketplace for graphite well ahead of when one might get into it when fully integrating the mine-to-market operations that I'm about to tell you about. It'll establish a brand and as I said, a cash flow for us and be a real point of difference for International Graphite. We released a scoping study 3 or 4 weeks ago in respect to what we're describing as the integrated mine-to-market strategy for the Springdale Graphite project and Collie downstream processing. Close-up of Springdale on the south coast of Western Australia, just near Hopeton. We're on cleared agricultural farmland. We've got magnificent relationships with all the farm owners down there, in particular 3 that our operations most affect. We are 25 kilometres from Ravensthorpe nickel mine and just south of the Mount Catlin lithium mine. So it's an area that's well and truly used to dealing with both mining operations and agriculture in the one region. Well supported by infrastructure, an airport, 1,600 metre commercial airstrip just to the north of our properties. We won Explorer of the Year last year for the work that we did on our mineral resource. We inherited 15.5 million tonnes at just over 6% from Comet Resources back in April 2022, which is the foundation of our listing. We've expanded that now to 49.3 million tonnes at 6.5% for 3.2 million tonnes of contained graphite. That's at a 2% cut-off. At 5% graphite cut-off, you're looking at 28 million tonnes at 8.7% TGC for 2.4 million tonnes of contained metal. That's a significant inventory in the graphite industry. So we've got more than enough graphite there under reporting at this point in time to advance through to full feasibility. But there is significant exploration potential on the properties. We've only explored somewhere in the region of 10% of our tenement areas. And all of that area to the north of the yellow yoke that you can see on that image is graphite anomalies from aeromagnetic surveys that are yet to be tested. So there's areas of land on our tenements that are at least as big as the existing mineral resource that are yet to be tested. So I think we can very safely say that we've got decades of mining operations ahead of us down at Springdale. The scoping study that we released last week, or a couple of weeks ago, I should say, considered a 500,000 tonne per annum processing facility, a conventional open pit mine, just on day shift only from a mining perspective. You can see there on the left-hand side the drawdown of indicated resource. We've only modelled the first 15 years, of which 72% of the ore that was processed came from the indicated category. As I said, once we go and drill further, we'll upgrade that. We know we have some 37 years of mine scheduling just on the existing mineral resource. The average grade of the ore that we mined over that 15-year period was just 9.5% TGC. Straightforward graphite concentrator that's practiced all around the world, nothing unique about that particular equipment, no long lead items in there. So once we make a final investment decision for Springdale, we're looking at a 12-month construction period, which includes the ordering, manufacturing of equipment and delivery and installation. What we're doing here is trying to capture the full value of the resource. The significance of that micronising facility that I referred to earlier is that it's the first process step in downstream processing for graphite, and it also results in when we go to the next stage, which is ferritising, it results in micronised byproducts being a part of the process as you move along towards battery anode material. Now, what we're doing down at Collie at the moment is essentially establishing our market for that byproduct for when we get Springdale in operation. So not only is it providing us really important cash flow for a development stage company, it's also providing us with a significant brand, a customer base that will allow us seamlessly to move into larger volumes when Springdale comes online. The next step in the process of purification, which is taking a graphite concentrate from 95% to 99.95%, which is your battery grade material, and from there you go to a coated, which is your final formulation for battery anode. We've established downstream processing R&D facilities in Collie. Again, one of the first companies that's done that globally to establish micronising and spheridising capability. We have a thermal purification unit down there at Collie. We've produced samples both from imported concentrates, and we are producing samples from the Springdale drill core at the moment, which is showing that our sizing and distributions are meeting market expectations for spheridised graphite. The lithium-ion battery industry is driving all this battery mineral demand, as you're, I'm sure, well aware. I just wanted to show this graph for two reasons. One is graphite's the single most important element by commodity in a lithium-ion battery. Roughly speaking, 1 kilowatt of hour requires 1 kilogram of graphite. And the other thing I wanted to point out is that we hear a lot about the lithium-ion battery electric vehicle sales quarter by quarter, and how it can sometimes move up and down and doesn't necessarily meet expectations. The important thing on this graph is that back in 2021, the electric vehicle forecast sales for 2023 was going to be 14 million units, and that's a figure from the International Energy Association. They actually hit, according to Reuters, 13.6 million vehicle sales in 2023. So clearly the trajectory is consistent with forecasts, and so I'd urge everybody when they're considering the electric vehicle market to think about the macro theme and not get too caught up in month-on-month and quarter-by-quarter movements. This is a scoping study, integrated financial results, significant earnings potential for our fully integrated facilities. The results were published in detail in our release 3 or 4 weeks ago, so I'll refer you to those. The capital cost for the concentrator at Springdale, $76 million, and then for uncoated material, another $124 million. Those numbers are consistent with estimates we put out back in 2023 as well. Next steps in 2024, down at Springdale, infill drilling, hydrogeotech permitting. We expect to wrap up the DFS by the end of this year for Springdale. With an ounce of luck, we'll have permitting completed as well, but that may roll over into early next year. Similarly, for downstream processing, we'll complete all of the feasibility work during the course of this year, looking to bring in equity partners and offtake during the course of this year to underwrite the funding of the business going forward. I think we represent excellent corporate value. Of just $26 million, please do some research and peer compare us to some of our peers, and I think you'll see some excellent value opportunities. So just to finish in the highlights, we're producing micanized graphite in Collie. We are on the path to being a graphite producer, developing a world-class mine at Springdale in the best location to develop mining assets and infrastructure assets in the world. Chris is all over me, so I'll leave it at that. Thanks everyone for listening.